Hey Leung fam, it's Beth and welcome back to my channel. It is time for another pin board video. It is April and this is my favorite time of year. I am just so excited. The cherry blossoms have been blooming all across Japan for the past week, and they have been blooming in Washington, D.C. as well, and I just think that this is honestly the prettiest time of year. And if you guys are new here, hi, welcome, but something you should know is I love cherry blossoms. So of course I had to represent them on my board for April because it is one of my favorite things. You'll see it's in like half of the graphics I use. It's in my intro. I have made a cherry blossom Disney pin, which those are coming very soon. So thank you to anyone who has ordered one. I do have a couple left. Link is gonna be in my description below. It is my shop link, but yes, those are pretty much done by the manufacturer. They are just kind of hanging onto them until we have moved because they didn't want to risk shipping them and then they would not get here in time. So those are going to be shipping out later this month to all of you guys, and I am so excited to see them. But yes, cherry blossoms. So obviously the flowers are pretty and pink and I love them for that, but they also have a really like deep rooted like cultural significance in Japan. So basically my entire board this month is going to be cherry blossom related. I originally was going to put on some Easter pins and Earth Day and like some other stuff just because like April is more than just cherry blossoms, but you know what? I started filling up my board and I thought it looked really pretty as is, so maybe next year for April I'll do like Earth Day and Easter and all of those other things. This year I just really wanted to focus on cherry blossoms or sakura, and yeah, it's basically my thing, so I'm really excited to show you guys these pins. I would say cherry blossoms are my main collection. I love this collection so much. It is not my largest collection by any means. Like, there's not that many cherry blossom pins out there. I mean, there's like a good amount, but not like huge. But this is definitely my main collection in that these are the pins that are basically most important to me. They're my favorite pins. Like, if there was like a fire and I had to like grab my cats and my laptop and my husband and like one pin board off of the wall, it would be my cherry blossom collection. And partially because these pins are really hard to find. You'll see a couple of the sets I have still not even finished, so you know, if you see any of those ever floating around, let me know so that I can finish my stuff. So I will show you guys my pin board. I'm gonna flip you around and kind of go over all of the pins like usual. But first, I just wanted to kind of give a little bit of background on cherry blossoms and their significance and like why everyone in Japan basically goes nuts over these little cute pink flowers. So basically, if you don't know, these gorgeous fluffy pink clouds come about every year in Japan for basically 1 week. A lot of times they might not even survive the whole week. Like, you never know, they could finally start to pop open and blossom, and then the next day a rainstorm runs through Japan and they are all on the ground the next day and no one even gets to enjoy them that year. So you never know if you're gonna have like a day to enjoy these flowers or a week. So it really just basically reminds people to live in the present and to pay attention. People will get off work from Japan. They'll get to go to something called a hanami. Hana means flower, mi is like to watch or to view. So they have these flower viewing parties where people will actually sit underneath the cherry blossom trees in these parks. They'll have kind of a picnic, they've got some sake, some cute little desserts, and they'll just hang out with like their coworkers, their friends, their family and loved one, and just basically look up at these blossoms that come around every time in late March, early April to remind people that, you know, you can't take life for granted. They might be here 1 minute and gone the next. Life is fleeting, just like the cherry blossoms, and that's really what it's all about, is to remember to always live life to the fullest. And I just think that that message is really important and beautiful, and I think it's something that a lot of Americans kind of forget about. Like, we lead really busy, crazy lives in the US, and I feel like a lot of people are very like work driven, and then they're family driven, and then like you retire and then you die, and you don't really stop to like really take time and just appreciate everything in life. And so, I mean, that's basically what cherry blossoms are all about. They just make people kind of slow down for a week and remember to live life to the fullest. And I think that that is something that's just really beautiful and it's important. And so I kind of just like surrounding myself with cherry blossom stuff all year round, so that it's not just 1 week out of the year that I kind of like slow down and appreciate life. I just try to surround myself and remember to do that on the daily, because I just think that that's really important. So, and I just think it's really cool because this tradition has honestly dated back centuries in Japan. Like, this is nothing new. It goes back to like the samurai period, where they would obviously live by this strict warrior code. It's called Bushido. And then if a samurai were to die in battle, that's often represented by like a single cherry blossom or petal kind of falling down and just representing him passing. It's also been historically in like World War II, like kamikaze pilots, before they did go on their suicide missions, their planes were painted with all of these blossoms so that they could basically, there's like a famous quote about how they wanted to be beautiful like a falling cherry blossom for their emperor, as they basically died for him and their country during that time. So this is definitely not a new concept at all. It's also just a really nice symbol of friendship. Japan did gift the US 3,000 or so cherry blossom trees. You can find those in Washington, DC. Basically downtown, like all around Tidal Basin. It is so pretty. Actually, right now is our National Cherry Blossom Festival going on out there. It started last week and I believe it ends next week. They actually do it for like a 2-week period now, and it is just a really fun, beautiful time to visit Washington, DC. I was lucky enough to get to go maybe like 3 years ago now. It's been a while, and I'm actually going to Washington, DC in like another 2 weeks. Pretty sure I'm for sure going to like miss the end of like the festivities, and pretty sure the blossoms will probably be gone by the time I get there, but you know, maybe we'll get lucky and we'll see a couple of them still. We actually also had cherry blossoms here in Chicago. They kind of bloom around our Museum of Science and Industry, though because of our cold weather here, we don't usually see blossoms until May, so definitely gonna miss those as well. And I'm pretty sure Florida does not have any cherry blossoms because you do need like cold and frost for them to basically bloom and live. And yeah, Florida is not really known for getting a whole lot of frost, at least like not like consistently. I know it can happen, but it doesn't like often happen. So yeah, pretty sure there are no cherry blossom trees in Florida, which is really unfortunate, but I'll just have to like load up and have our apartment kind of decorated with them to just like keep reminding me to live in the present, stay like connected, and just like be grateful and basically appreciate every day given to me. So yeah, that's kind of a little background on why I love cherry blossoms so much. Like, they just have this really pretty, deep meaning, and I mean, the flowers themselves are just gorgeous. Who wouldn't want to be in a sea of pink, like when the wind picks up and the petals are all floating around you? It is seriously, I know I said this previously, but it is just a really magical time, and it is so fun to be in Japan during this time of year. I will say it is a really hard thing to time and catch. Johnny and I have planned, I think now 4 different trips to Japan between like late March, early April, so that we could see the cherry blossoms, and basically only successful one of those times, which is a super bummer. So that's like just another fun aspect of it, is you never know exactly when it's gonna happen, how long it's gonna last. Like, you might, I think on the first time that we tried to plan a trip, we had arrived and there had been like a rainstorm, and I think we were maybe like 3 days too late or something, and so we didn't get to see any of them. The time that we were successful, it actually wasn't a we, it was just me when I went on a solo trip. So unfortunately, I don't think Johnny has ever seen the cherry blossoms in Japan, where I was fortunate enough to do that. Yeah, definitely looking at going back to Japan, and we always do just try to time it for that time of year because it's just fun to catch it if you do. So with all of that being said, here is my April cherry blossom board. And I am really excited. I do have a couple other cherry blossom pins that are actually on their way to me, but they're being shipped to our new address, so not gonna get here. Obviously did not make it in time for this video. I'll also have my pin that I designed that I get to add to this board very soon, so I am really excited about this. Like I said, it's like a decent collection. It is still what I consider my main collection, like I said, just because it is the most important collection to me. But let's go ahead and flip you around so that you guys can see all of the pretty pins. Finding somewhere to put the camera and put this board actually took a little bit more time than I thought it would, now that I do not have a desk. But we are ready to go, and I am actually going to start with these 4 because they are all kind of the same thing. So a lot of these pins are actually like Japanese graduation pins, just because graduation happens to fall typically during cherry blossom season as well. So that's why you can see Mickey and Minnie here are dancing with joy. They've got their diplomas in hand and it says congratulations, but I do think it's still really cute just because it has some of the cherry blossoms in the background. This one is also supposed to be like a graduation themed pin. You've got Daisy and Donald as kind of school kids. Donald is snapping a photo, probably for like the yearbook or just to remember the end of the year. And then they're in front of this really pretty glittery cherry blossom. I actually really love that pin just because since I am a photographer, it's got a couple of my favorite things for sure. And then down here, you can see that these 2 pins are from the same set. The one on the left is Mickey and Minnie, and they are holding their diplomas in front of the cherry blossoms, and then the one on the right is Donald and Daisy doing the same. And I love these because it's really hard to tell, and I actually just noticed this now, but some of the cherry blossoms in the background have glitter, like this one does, but they don't all, so I just really love that extra little detail. So moving on to the top middle of the board, I have these 3 here. This set is complete. There are only 3 in the series, and I love this set so much. They are hinge pins, so you can see we have one for Stitch, we have one for Chip, and we've got one for Dale. So then when you open the hinge, you have Stitch, and he is so excited. He's got his arms in the air. He is throwing up all of the blossoms. I just think that is so cute. And then we've got Chip. He is also adorable in the blossoms. And then, whoops, that's not gonna stay since they are hinge pins, but, and then our last one is Dale, just like Chip. All of the petals are floating around him, and I just think that the series is adorable, and I am really glad that I have the entire set. So then over in this corner, you saw that I got these pins just recently. They look gorgeous. Here you can really see that they are a really nice size, and I just love the look of both Daisy and Minnie in the set. I love the extra little cherry blossoms in their hair. I love the cherry blossoms all around them. And I just think that it is a really pretty set. Back in the center, you have 3 of my most favorite pins. And that is this stained glass series. Sorry, I'm trying not to touch the board too much because it is just kind of like barely standing up. But I love this series so much. I think it is gorgeous. I love the stained glass. I love the cherry blossoms. I love the poses. I am still missing Pluto, Mickey, and Goofy, and this set has just been so hard to track down. I do know where a Pluto is, but I'm like struggling to come up with a trade for him, and they don't want to sell. And I thought I had a Mickey. They said they would be willing to sell, and then I never heard back from them again. So yeah, if you guys ever see Mickey, Pluto, or Goofy from this set, please like tag me, message me, like get my attention right away, because it is honestly one of my favorite sets of anything I own, and I would love to finish it. So now over here I actually have two different Paris lanyard pins. The first one is Chip and Dale up here, and they're on this cherry blossom shape. It is like a peach or orangish colored cherry blossom, which is really strange. I wish it would have been pink to kind of blend in on my board better, but it is still really cute and I love their pose. And then the second one is this Minnie Mouse. Johnny is not a huge fan of this pin. I kind of see where he's coming from. She definitely looks a little evil, like it's called Laughing Minnie, and it just kind of looks like she's got like this villainous laugh going on, but you know, we still like it. It's still cherry blossom, so we wanted to include her anyways. And then this Minnie is actually from a New Year's set, but she is surrounded by blossoms and she's in her kimono. The petals are falling into the water, so I just wanted to include this on my cherry blossom board instead of my New Year's board. And we'll just finish up this corner. Down here we have also new releases from this year. It is Mickey and Minnie, and they are wearing their kimono. There are all different kind of metallic cherry blossoms, and it's on multiple layers of the pin, and she's got a little rhinestone in her bow there. I just thought that this set was so cute, and I was really excited to pick it up to add to my collection. Moving across the bottom here, this is a fantasy pin. It is Sai and Am in cherry blossom branches, and this was made by Yesterdaisy Pins. You guys saw me open this up about maybe 2 months ago in one of my pin mail videos, but I love it and I was definitely excited to add that to my collection because it goes really nicely with our next pin, which is this Marie pin from Paris Disneyland. This is part of the Cherry Blossom Girls pin set. It also had a Pegasus and a the like forest creatures, like the owl and friends from Sleeping Beauty, and they all had different cherry blossom branches. I do not have the other two in this collection. I'm not sure if I'll ever get them, especially for the Sleeping Beauty one, just because it's like bare branches and you don't actually see any cherry blossoms. The Pegasus one is pretty cute, but I held off on getting it just because it's the Pegasus from Fantasia, so it's like really dark and black, and I thought it might look a little too heavy on my pin board when everything else is like pink and girly. But we may pick that one up eventually if the price ever comes down, because it's also a very expensive pin. But luckily I picked this one up when it first came out before prices skyrocketed on her, and I love this. She is playing in the cherry blossoms. There's a little bit of glitter in the blossoms, and I just think that this pin is so adorable. And then over here, to go along with the Marie cherry blossom pin here, I have another Marie. This is actually a kakejiku pin, which is a traditional Japanese scroll. It is one of the few pins that I've like kept on this little backer piece, which is supposed to look like a scroll. I just think that it is so adorable, but the pin itself is beautiful. It is a square pin. It's got Marie. It has these really pretty little cherry blossoms all around it. And then in the corner, it actually has the word Marie, and it's kind of in the style of an old stamp that they would use in Japan for like art purposes or for signatures. And I just think that this pin is so pretty, and I'm really glad that I was able to find it on its original scroll, because I have seen a few that did not have the scroll, because I mean, this is just a piece of paper. It could easily rip or get broken, but this is one of my favorite pins, and this is actually one of the first pins that I ever purchased back in July when I went to Disneyland, and I stopped by My D Pins, which is a big mistake. But seriously, if you're ever in Disneyland, definitely check out My D Pins, because there is so much stuff to sort through, and I was able to find this little gem there. So the last part of my board is this middle section here. It is another set, although I am not finished with it. It is missing a piece. Once I have all of them, they actually connect together really nicely and they will all sit kind of as one nice big pin. But I am actually missing the piece that goes in between Donald and Pluto. So these three right now connect nicely, and then Pluto's just kind of chilling over there. So I did not like how that looked. So I decided to just kind of separate them like this, at least for now, until I get the final Chippendale. Which again, if you ever see the Chippendale one, let me know, because I would love to have it. We've got basically the Fab Four here, and they are all getting ready for a Hanami. They are all under the cherry blossoms. So first we've got Mickey, and he's on this little like platform. You'll see that they build these and put them in all of the parks where people like to have Hanami and have their little picnics under the cherry blossom trees so that you don't have to sit on the ground. Dollar stores also put out like mats and things this time of year for you to like purchase and go have your picnic, but I love that Mickey is kind of sitting there waiting for his friends to bring the rest of the stuff needed for the party. So then in this second one, we've got Minnie Mouse, and she is holding a 3-tiered bento, so I am sure there are all sorts of fun little desserts and goodies. It looks like there's some like rice sticking out of there, so that is another item that you would typically bring to your Hanami cherry blossom party. And then we've got Donald just relaxing over here. He is actually laying next to a plate of sakura mochi, which is cherry blossom mochi. They actually use the leaves of the cherry blossom tree in this, and they wrap the mochi in it, and you eat it all at once. It's kind of a like sweet, savory type of, not like savory, but it's like the leaves are pickled, so it is, well, I guess pickled is savory, so it's kind of like a sweet, savory dessert. Definitely a unique flavor. I feel like most people I've introduced it to do not like it because of the pickled flavor, but I mean, I like them. I think they're good. Definitely try them if you can. And then our last pin over here features Pluto, and he has a dango in his mouth. It's got the 3 different colors. It's kind of the same 3 colors that is used in Hinamatsuri dango. So you've got the light pink, you've got the white, and then you've got the green. So again, another really delicious dessert, especially at springtime, to have under the cherry blossom set. There is, like I said, one more piece that goes right here. It is Chippendale, and I think they're holding like a branch of cherry blossom leaves. I'm not entirely sure what they're doing in theirs, but that is definitely a pin that I am still trying to track down. It has been proving to be very difficult, and if you want this set, I highly recommend it because it's gorgeous, and I love when pin sets actually connect to make like one big kind of pin look. But there are fakes of this series out there, so definitely be careful when you are purchasing them. Make sure all of the trees should have glitter in their background. It should be like light pinks and pastels, very pretty, delicate, not like hot pink and like really neon colors, because that is what we have noticed is the case with the fakes. So yeah, definitely just be careful. So all right, one more time. Here is my entire cherry blossom board. Sorry if you guys were hoping to see some Easter and Earth Day and like Florida stuff on here, but you know, next time. I just really wanted this to be pink, girly, and beautiful. Alright guys, that is it for me today. I really hope you enjoyed this. I was just really excited to get to share this collection with you guys. Honestly, it just has my heart. It is my favorite of everything. It is pink, it is glittery, it is cute, it is Japan, it is just everything that I love. It is definitely my favorite, so I really hope that you enjoyed getting this little look into one of my favorite collections at least, and you'll definitely see it again soon as I like put everything on permanent boards once we move in a couple of days. So get really excited to see basically how I make my pin boards, my whole like pin board design process, hanging them up. Like, I'm gonna walk you through the entire thing, so I hope you guys are excited to see that as well. Alright, so let me know down in the comments below which pin was your favorite. Make sure to give this video a big thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that notification bell if you haven't already. I will see you guys again for another video very soon. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Bye!